At just 3 universities, Mr. President, Harvard, MIT, and Penn, the endowments are approaching $100 billion. That is as large as some of the largest hedge funds in America. In fact, Harvard, Penn, Yale, many of our Ivy League institutions and others beyond that are little more than hedge funds with universities attached to them as pretend. This must stop. Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to speak to a particular problem in America's higher education system, a problem born of unfairness and of mass subsidy from the American taxpayer that is now metastasized into one of the most corrupt and one of the most politically active and politically hostile organizations in the United States of America, and that is elite colleges. A lot of us have watched, not just since the October 7th attacks on Israel, but for over a decade, as America's colleges seem less and less interested in education and more interested in teaching things like racial hatred and various forms of far-left ideology. And a lot of us have asked ourselves, how is this possible? How is it that universities that should be responsive to the public will, responsive to their donors and alumni, responsive to their students, how is it that they can go so far, so fast without any pushback? And the answer, my fellow Americans, Mr. President, is university endowments, which have grown incredibly large on the backs of subsidies from the taxpayers, and they have made these universities completely independent of any political, financial, or other pressure, and that is why the university system in this country has gone so insane. At just 3 universities, Mr. President, Harvard, MIT, and Penn, the endowments are approaching $100 billion. That is as large as some of the largest hedge funds in America. In fact, Harvard, Penn, Yale, many of our Ivy League institutions and others beyond that are little more than hedge funds with universities attached to them as pretend. This must stop. It must stop because it has enabled political insanity. It must stop because it has burdened an entire generation of Americans with over $1 trillion of student debt. Student debt relief that many of my friends on the other side would like plumbers in Ohio to pay for, but I think if the universities cause the problem, Mr. President, they ought to pay for it.